Mermaid Junkies. How are you? I'm so excited to see you. I missed you. Okay, so I had several videos that I'm trying to not be ADD and like put one and loop them on top of each other because I keep getting all disoriented. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you about this particular thing that happened over the weekend, which was always a good thing. You know how I always like to look at everything in a positive way, even though in the moment of something going on, you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm sitting there thinking, no, why is this happening to me? And the reason I say that is because I had noticed last week, and that's why I didn't put out any videos, and I guess that's an excuse, but I had noticed that I was really feeling like I had horrible energy, like just really felt like the vibration around me was exuding all this negativity. And I just felt like I could just sense it. And the one good, clear indication is that you maybe have negative energy or something's going on with your thought processes and things of that nature is when you start to recognize you're getting everything that you're not wanting in life. And so anyway, so let me just give you an example. And this is kind of personal. I don't know if I should say it, but I'm just going to anyway. What the hey, right? Okay, so you guys know that I've talked to you about how, like, if you were in a marriage or a relationship or you have a particular type of persona that you've always had in a particular relationship. It could be a mother-daughter relationship. It could be, father-daughter relationship, a sibling relationship, any kind of relationship, okay? But mine, I'm directed at my past relationships and my different, triggers that I've always had. And so I noticed last week, and that's why I didn't shoot any videos. And did I already say that once? Anyway, I'm saying it again, that I really started to feel like a lot of my past was coming up, and it just kept like perpetuating. And I kept thinking, okay, I've got it, let me go meditate, or let me figure this out. And then I would just not meditate, and I would, I would just kind of blow it off like, no, I can stop this momentum, because it's like so true with law of attraction. Like everything that you think about is exactly what the universe is going to give you. It's a mirror reflection of yourself and it's a good indication if you have something that you are seeing a lot of. And I posted a Facebook post about this quote is that if you see things negatively, like if you're seeing things come up in your life, it's a good indication of what you're vibrationally putting out. And so I felt like fear was really starting to like make me, completely, it was just throwing me for a loop because I recognized every time I turned around or I thought about a particular subject or I thought about a particular person or something like that, that I would start to, like, all of these old habits and old triggers would come up about fear. And, fear of being, disloyalty. It could be fear of betrayal, but fear of anything. I mean, basically, fear is one emotion, but there's so many times people put different definitions to what fear is to you. But a lot of time, mostly fear is an indication of some type of negative emotion that you have that drives you. And so mine was, I noticed that, and this probably didn't help, that it was perpetuated by alcohol. And so, I had like a little nice glass of wine or whatever. And so I've been trying to, be really good about that. But I have found that I just really like that. But it's so important not to drink unless you're in a good vibration. Because if you're on a momentum that's like, I just want to get drunk and forget about my problems, I'm being melodramatic, but it's true. Like if you drink and you're having like, you want to forget your problems, or like, oh, this girl just broke up with me, or I just broke up with my guy, or whatever, and then you go and get drunk thinking you're like, oh, this is going to make everything hunky-dory. No, it's going to accelerate it to the largest degree ever. And then all of those truth serums and all of your insecurities will come out and just display themselves right there in front of everyone. Unless you're like me and you stay home, because that's a good thing that I did, was stay home. But anyway, okay, so my whole point was I had a glass of wine, and I had been having a terrible day. Like on Friday, I just was not having a good day. And it was just a number of things that were culminating, just that momentum. And then you get going, and it's like everything happens and everything starts to happen. Everything under the sun is the washing machine's gonna go out. You're gonna get a flat tire. You're gonna hit a crap load of traffic. Somebody's gonna cut you off or cuss you out in the store or the line at the grocery store. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's just, it's not like any huge, massive thing, but I kept thinking, okay, this is a momentum that's been happening to me all week long, and now it's really starting to like hit an overload. And so then it was just one other thing, and it just threw me for a loop, and I was just completely distraught and upset, and maybe I'm making it sound bigger than it is, but anyway, my whole point is that what seems to be extremely insurmountable in my mind and my emotions could be completely different for you. But the whole thing is like, I'm so used to, now that I've focused and trained myself to be able to be I'm mostly joyful most of the time. Almost always am I mostly joyful throughout life, and nothing seems to really get me down unless I've just not been meditating or, being, focusing on appreciation and things like that. And so that really started to wear on me all this week, because I just kept putting it off, and I would get up and paint and everything, where that did bring me joy and everything. But if I don't get my mental, my mental psyche in a good place, it really has a huge effect on me, because I'm so used to being happy. And when you don't have happiness, or you find that like things are not going, the energy levels just aren't there, it just really takes you into like, the depths of sadness, because that you're so used to being trained to be happy and joyful. And so those things will really like take you for a loop. But anyway, so my whole point is that I realized that once again, you think that you might have worked through something, but once again, I noticed that I did not work through something, and I was starting to get really upset, because that's the one thing, is that it's trying not to get upset with yourself, because if you realize like you're working through things and you don't get it done like the first time, or you're still working on something and it's a year later or whatever, that it's okay. And I have to continually remind myself that it's okay to be in process, because we're always going to be in progress. We're never going to get this life done. There's always going to be something else that we're working on, or something else that triggers us, or something else that we need to look at, or try to figure out what's going on with us. I don't know. I'm always one of those kind of people that there's always these beautiful experiences, and contrast is one of them, that you look at and it tells you where you are emotionally or vibrationally. And I started to realize mine was completely, I still am having these issues with distrust sometimes. And I think that it stems from, no matter where it stems from, it could be relationships, it could be your childhood or whatever, that if you don't trust, I realized that if I don't trust myself, that I can't trust other people completely. And so I'm still trying to work that out. And I think a lot of times when we get in relationships, sometimes we'll want to like take our focus off of the beautiful things of our partner, and we'll want to blame them for our unhappiness. Like, okay, Jeffrey, you said that and I didn't appreciate that. And so you need to change how you feel about that particular subject, because I'm unhappy. And I know that that's not what it is. That's the biggest thing that goes wrong in relationships, is that You take your focus off of the beautiful aspects of that person. And when you do that, when I'm doing that, so let me just use me as an example. When I'm taking my focus off of Jeffrey being the object of my attention, right? That you start to notice the things that are not like perfect. I don't know if this is making sense, but that's what happens in relationships. And so what that means really is not that that person has changed. There's no perception that has changed about him. But what has happened is I've taken my focus off of him and seeing the beautiful aspects of him, which in turn is the beautiful aspects that I'm seeing in myself through him. Does that make sense? Because like if you can see yourself, you love yourself unconditionally, like God or source or the universe loves you, then you love everyone else through that same vision or perspective. But when you take your object of attention off of those beautiful aspects of that person, which means in turn you're doing that to yourself, you're really taking those things away from yourself, that you're not loving yourself completely and purely and unconditionally, you start to unravel because, it's basically the God, universe, or source's way of saying, the way you're looking at that person, Raquel, Jeffrey, or the way that you're looking at yourself, I, source, God, does not agree with how you're looking at him or that person or you, Raquel, because God, source, universe only sees perfection in us. There is no imperfection. And, a lot of times, especially in religion, like I said, I'm a very spiritual person, just not religious based anymore. And some people say, oh, well, then that means you're not a Christian or whatever. It's like, well, from your aspect, if you think that I'm not a person that is, God worthy, that really has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? That has more to do with you, because once again, source, God, the universe would never look at me in that way. So when you're looking at me that way, you're looking out of the perception and perceiving things in a way that is your stuff, not God's way. And so I just want to get that straight, because a lot of times, I've had people unfollow me, or friends that have kind of went by the wayside because they think, oh, Raquel's, into that law of attraction stuff, and she's not a Christian, or she's not a this, or she's not a that, or she's gone wayward. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she's into that kind of stuff, and she's not like, we feel sorry for her soul. I mean, she's, going to go to hell, or whatever you want to say about me. But anyway, my whole thing is that when, this is my whole gathering of the synopsis of what this video is about, is that when you look at someone, it does not matter who it is in the entire world. It could be Joe Schmo down the street. It could be that homeless person that's sleeping on the bench by Winn-Dixie. It could be a lady that you see at church. It could be a guy that's in your bishopric. It doesn't matter who it is. But when you look at them and you do not see the positive aspects of that person, that you find something like any kind of judgment whatsoever, you are basically out of alignment with God, source, or the universe. You are out of alignment, because God would never look upon that person with any ill judgment. And that's the one thing in religion, is people think, oh, well, you know what, God's sitting on this cloud, and as soon as you can get your life perfect and you're up to measure with me, you're naughty, you're this, you're that. I'm flipping my hair on. You're this, you're that. And that is not the way God sees it. Everybody has this misperception of the way that they think God is. They give him this personality that's like, unless you're perfect and you've come to me and you're this way and that way, then you don't add up or you don't measure up, or there's still always work to do and work for you and work and progress. And you need to keep working and working your way up to this perfectionism that you're never going to accomplish. So you might as well just take yourself out right now, because it's never going to happen. You know, I think a lot of times people will look at it like, okay, done with that. Now let's wrap that one up and toss it in a nice little bow and put it to the side, because now we're all done. You're never going to get done. You're never done with this life. You're never going to get done. You're going to reincarnate and come back again because you want to keep doing this. And so, yeah, a lot of people don't believe in reincarnation. Well, you know what? I don't care. That's my opinion. If you don't like my channel, get off my channel. It's like I get so frustrated with people being so judgmental. It's like, stop judging me. And I know you can tell that I'm upset. And yes, it's because I'm tired of people inboxing me or whatever. And so that's what really made me start thinking on Friday, like, what the crap? I must be putting out this negative signal that is causing me to attract all of this. It's like, you know, clearly I want, you know, we want to blame someone else for our negativity or whatever's going on with us. But you know what? It's a clear indication. If you have something going on in your vibration, all you have to do is look around. Life is going to show you. Law of attraction shows you, oh, you must have a really crappy attitude this week, Raquel. Or you must be a really negative Nancy this week, Raquel, because look at all these negative people that are sending you negative comments or saying negative things to you. And so I think that that's really a good, I don't know what you would want to call it, but it's kind of like the universe's report card. It's reporting back to you by giving you everything that you are exuding out. So the next time you're wondering, like, why am I having a negative attitude? Why are all these negative people around me? Why is everybody sick around me? Or always telling me stories of woe? Maybe you're doing that. And that's why you're getting that back. And so that's one thing my channel is, you guys, is I don't sit here and sugarcoat crap. You know, I'm the sweetest person, but I'm also not going to be the kind of person that's going to sit there and butter your muffin all the time and tell you how things are, or like, oh, I don't want it. Oh, maybe they don't want to hear that from me. Or if they thought that about me, they won't like me as much. Because you know what? I like me enough for all of you people. And so, I mean, that sounded terrible, like all you people, but I guess I'm a little bit defensive today, and I probably shouldn't even shot this video, but I feel like, you know what, that's the rawest you are when you're in that emotional stance in that moment. And if you shoot the video, then you get raw emotions and like how I really am and how I really feel about stuff. And so, so I really worked Saturday and Sunday and then today, and I guess it just kind of brought that momentum back up, but I really feel so much better and I feel so much happier. And I did go and meditate every day and do, you know, my affirmations book and stuff, because that's really a good telling of affirmations. It is a very positive way of getting yourself back into alignment. And feeling positive again and getting back into the flow of that good energy. And so I'm looking at Oliver. He's like crashed out, sprawled out on the floor. He loves the concrete because it's not been painted yet. And it's cool to him because it's real hot here in Florida. But anyway, I don't know if this served you at all, just to be kind to yourself, to take a look at yourself and recognize, you know what, if you're getting a lot of feedback and things are negative and you've been feeling down and out and stuff, you might want to, you know, look at some things that you might need to address and kind of work through. And so, like I said, I hope this served you, and I hope it didn't piss anybody off. I mean, knowing me, I'm sure I did. But anyway, I still love you regardless, and I hope that you come back. And I'm going to do another video about children and dreams, you know, building dreams and children and stuff, and why kids sometimes act the way that they do if they kind of seem like they're misfit children. They really aren't. But anyway, so I'll talk to you soon, and as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao.